Hi everyone, this is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I'm here planning for the week of August 17th through the 22nd. Is that how I math? 20, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. The 23rd, the 17th through the 23rd. This is in my B&R Paper Crafts Plan B planner. And for this week, I am using a sticker book from the Happy Planner. This is a rainbow value pack, 100 sheets. I've used it a bunch of times in the past. You can see there's a good chunk that has been used up across the way. But I'm going to try to use it again this time. So there are sections, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So there's 10 total colors. I only need 8 to go across. So I'm going to skip one of these turquoises because there's this color turquoise in a set. And then there's also this color turquoise. So I'm going to use only one of those just to kind of keep it under control. And then I'm probably going to skip one of the pinks. So there's a bright pink here. And then we also have kind of like a darker pink here. So I'm only going to use one of those as well. At least that's my plan. So we're going to see how we can make it work and figure it out. It's going to kind of be an adventure as we go. These full boxes, I believe, yeah, they're tall enough to go through the middle without covering up. They'll cover up 2 sets. So I really only have to worry about things like one set of headers, for example. And for headers, I tend to use these little guys here. I do believe that they fit going across. I can measure them so that we can double check. I believe these headers are the 1.5 inch, which is what you need to go across. Yeah, they're just over 1.5 inch, so they'll go across okay. So to go with this, I do have a few extras to pull in, since obviously this doesn't have quite everything I need. I do have some longer strips here like this that technically I could try to use as bottom washi, but that feels very chaotic and complicated and I don't feel like sorting it out. So I'm going to do something else. I have one washi tape that I got as a gift. I think it came from Amazon with this like gold foiled waves with rainbow. I'm going to use this one. And then I also have this washi tape that I think it was also gifted to me. I think it came from Myers, the grocery store. For those of you in the Midwest, you know what I mean? So I'm going to use this. And then I do have this foiled, this is like silver hollow stars that I'm going to go with it. As you can tell, I'm going for kind of like a mixed metals vibe. There is both gold and silver in the sticker book, so I do want to kind of mix it up a little bit. And then I also have this American Crafts sticker book that I'm going to pull a few things from because it has some stuff that the other one doesn't. Mainly the thing that I want to pull from it, if I can find the correct page, is these guys. So the days of the week in gold foiling. I'm going to put those in, and then I have my Mean Show fine liner to write the date. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to make it work. I'm not going to have a lot of my standard stuff that goes down the side, like habit trackers and things like that. So we're just going to have to kind of mix it up a little bit. To get started, I'm going to do the base setup, and then we'll kind of see where it goes from there. All right, here is where we have gotten to thus far. I think it's looking pretty cute. As you can see, I started with orange. I don't know, it was mostly off camera probably, but I had to cut down some longer strips that I'd mentioned that we had like here because I'd already used the short ones. So in the end, I had to cut all of them except this pink one, and I think this maybe one. Nope, I think just the pink one I didn't have to cut, but that's fine. I started with orange because I want to make this column the red column and then end on pink. I decided that's the way I'm going to go this time. Usually I think I start with the light pink and then something else gets skipped. I also picked the more saturated of the turquoises for Thursday, so we'll see how that goes as well. So instead of doing all of the boxes kind of like working out from the center, obviously I'm going to go in rainbow color right now. In terms of ones that are red, I really have two. It says think bigger or celebrate every tiny victory. I think I'm going to go with think bigger. And I'm just going to put this actually even with the top of the box. I haven't been doing that recently because I've been wanting extra space in my sidebar. But for this week, I don't actually have any of my usual sidebar stuff, which is fine. I will function okay without it, but it is going to definitely be an adjustment. So I might as well work down so that I don't have to fill as much space there. Moving on to the next section, I then get to the orange and the yellow. So these two columns are up next. There's a lot of peach in here, but I'm just gonna kind of make it work as best I can. I'm gonna put them through the middle. So I think this one is the one that I would consider the most yellow. So I'm gonna stick this in the yellow column. There we go. You can see it kind of goes pretty low into this box, but that doesn't really bother me. And then I could do everyday yay or worry less, smile more. I think I'm gonna go with everyday yay. Because I feel like this one transitions well between the red and the orange. All right, there we go. And then this next section, I only need a green one from here. These are two tan ones. These are my only green ones here. I have two like big quote boxes. This was about doing what you love. This one is about having an attitude of gratitude. I think we'll go with doing what we love. See how that goes. There we go. That's looking cute. All right, and then moving on to the second half. In this next section, this is where we get to the silver foiling, as you can see. I think this is the only section with silver foil, so not really sure why they did that, but whatever. So we have these guys, and I need to make them fit into these two. This one, we don't have like a super good blue box at this point, which not my fave, but it is what it is. So we're gonna make it work. So I think I'm trying to figure out which one is the most blue, or what interprets as the most blue. I think I'm gonna go with this guy as counting as blue. We'll see how that goes. It's definitely pretty turquoise, but hopefully it looks good once everything is together. And then over on this one, I think I could do either the Hey Girl or You Are One of a Kind. I think we'll go with this one. Since it kind of has like silver foiling through the middle predominantly, and the other one is more on the outside edge. This is the hardest one for me to put down with the center spine being so annoying, since I am a lefty. All right, there's that one. Gonna call that good. And then moving on to the last section, I need a purple and I need a pink. So I think I'm gonna go with things, all of this section is not foiled, so that's fun. But I think I could choose this one that kind of starts to go in the next, but it's actually a cutout in the center. So I think I'm gonna stick with these guys. And I think I'm gonna do this one. This one has a bit of blue in it, which helps, I feel like, with the transition. At least a little bit. And then I think I'm gonna pick the like most pink of all of these. All right, there we go. So that's looking pretty good, I think. Hopefully this is gonna work out. Starting with the sidebar, I am gonna stick some washi in here. And I think to keep with the theme and keep everything together, I'm actually going to put it above the full box. I know I said that I was like done with having higher sidebars, but I think I want to keep everything once I start the column in shades of red. So I'm going to stick this black washi up here. The sprinkles, if you can't tell, are rainbow colored sprinkles, by the way. And then I'm going to cover it with the little foiling. So now we have like a little of the hollow foil up here. Also use this page up completely. So that's nice. And now we just have to get through everything. I'm going to kind of put them like this so that hopefully we can see the red still. I need to pick red things, obviously, for this column. And I need to pick things that will work out for whatever I do want to track on the sidebar, knowing that I don't have any of the traditional things to track on the sidebar. I do have some like extra things I could put in here, but all right, let's see what I do want to put in. The red is tricky because it's pretty much all the same tone red, or at least a lot more of the same tone red than we get with some of the other colors. All right, I think first off, I'm gonna stick in this guy. And this is going to make my habit tracker. I'm gonna draw a habit tracker onto here. I don't know if I want to do that live during this time. Let's see if we can do it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 boxes across. I need 7 of them for a habit tracker. So that leaves 2 on each side that aren't habit trackers. All right, I'm going to use this guy. And I'm going to put in, I'm going to make them tall and skinny. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm just going to put in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I'll write in my habit up here at some point there. And let's see what we have here that could be kind of applicable. So I usually track socials here. So I think I'm going to put in this little guy to make it kind of like a socials tracker. That's not strictly socials, but I think that's going to fulfill that need pretty well. And then I do think the next thing I want to put in is one of these headers that says the plan. That feels like it could be applicable, and fill in. And then I'm going to put in, this is actually my last checklist in red. There we go. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to-dos if I want that many, or I could just do 5 and leave some space there. And then I just need to fill in something at the bottom. I feel like a little box might be a good choice. Maybe this really skinny one that I can just stick in something. It is going to be a family weekend, so what do I have that might indicate that? I feel like none of these guys really say family particularly. And none of these shapes really say family. All right, I think I'm just gonna write it in and we're gonna go with that. So that covers the first day. This is taking a long time because I don't know what I'm doing, basically. All right, moving on to Monday. For Monday, the things I need to mark is first off work, obviously, needs to get marked. I think I'm gonna stick in this peach guy just to mix up the shades that we're getting here. And then for work, what icons do I want to use for work? I certainly talk a lot, so the little talking one would have made sense, but I'm already using that for my little socials over here. So I feel like I want it to be something different. Maybe I'll use this guy. like I'm here kind of thing. All right, so that's for work. Got that sorted out. And then the other big thing that's happening on Monday, I need another shaped box of some sort. Maybe we can just do like a little smile guy. That would be cute. And for that, I do have my plan with me going up. So I'm going to mark that there. And then there's no trash icon. So I'm just going to skip it, and we're just going to hopefully remember that this is trash too. I think that's all I have planned for Monday. And then in yellow, I need another little skinny box for work. I think I'm just going to stick in this guy. And then I'm just going to use the same little location icon for work again. And I think that's all I currently have scheduled for Tuesday. Wednesday, we got to skip ahead to the next section. I might end up using some of these checklists. We'll see how that goes. That's a future me. I also have like these today boxes, which could come into play when the color makes sense, which it might here. We'll see how that goes. None of that is something I plan ahead in this case. All right, so put in a little skinny guy for work. And then this page is upside down in case that's not abundantly clear to you. They put it into the book wrong, but it's the correct stickers, so it's fine. I should have a movie night on Wednesday, but we've also rescheduled like twice already, so I'm not going to fill that in right now, and I will put it in if it actually happens. On the second half of the week, I'm going to get to my turquoise boxes. I think I'm going to put in this dark turquoise for the skinny box. There we go. And then I need another one of those icons. Hopefully I'm not shifting you when I shift everything else. These don't have any foiling on either sheet, so I'm just going to stick them in like so. And then I don't know why this doesn't want to stick down. Stay. Okay. This is the wrong color icon for here. This belongs on the blue side. If I could just pick it up, that would be delightful. Okay, putting it back because I don't need one for Friday. I need this guy over here. All right, Friday, as I just alluded to by the fact that I'm putting that icon back, I'm not actually working. I took a day off because I haven't done one of those in roughly 100 years. Or what feels like 100 years at least. I'm still going to use this little skinny guy to mark that it's a day off. I just want to mark it a little bit differently. I could use, what do I want to use for a day off? Maybe I'll use this little coffee guy. All right, there we go. I do also have a video going up. I think it's going to be my kits for September. Is that what week we're going to be on? I think that's correct. So I'm going to mark it the same way. If I could make this even, that would be delightful. Mark it the same way that I marked my video for Monday. There we go. And then I need a little video icon like so. And then the other big thing that is happening is my family is coming into town. So I want some sort of marker for that. I think I can fit this size box, right? Yeah. Wow, that is like so far from being straight. It's a little astonishing. All right, that's better. And then my parents are driving into town, not flying, so it doesn't make sense to put, I could use like one of these today guys. That could be fun. I need something that's like not too big. All right, let's do it and commit. I'm gonna stick in the little today guy like so. And I think I should be able to make Parents Arrive fit into that space. We're gonna make it work. Over the weekend, I really don't know what we're gonna do. Maybe a zoo visit, maybe go to one of the indoor museums. It's kind of dependent on the weather. So we'll see how that goes. So I think I'm just gonna leave that part empty for now. And I think we're gonna go with this for the pre-planning. So stick around for just a second and you can see the finished spread. All right, here's the finished spread. I think it turned out cute. I'll give a little wiggle and a twerk. Definitely pretty shiny. I'm not gonna go through the sticker book, obviously, to tell you what I have left because it's just an insane amount of stuff left. But just a note that I did finish this page of washi strips, maybe from Sadie Stickers, not sure. It's in my stash. You can see I have little strips here because I have some boxes that were too wide that I just had to trim a little bit, so I can get rid of that as well. But I really did pull in things from that Happy Planner book. I did also pull in these little headers from American Crafts, a pen here, which is a Mean Joe fine liner, I think. I also used it here. This little Avalon and Ninth guy. And then the black bottom washi from Myers, maybe, with the hollow on top. That's from who knows where. And then this one from Amazon. But I think it turned out cute. It was kind of a chaotic week. Pretty busy at work. Had some time with friends, which was really nice. I did take Friday off and prepped for my parents coming in for over the weekend, which was also busy but good. But overall, I think that it was a pretty nice week, and I love the bright colors in my planner, especially as we are starting to feel some fall days here in Western New York here in late August. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I think that's all I have for today. So as always, please like and subscribe below if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Let me know how your week went down below, or if you're not feeling chatty, leave me a rainbow emoji just to say hi. I would love to hear from you. And then follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Creative Life of Lay, so you can see in progress and finished spreads, bits and pieces of my life, what I'm reading, all that good stuff. And until next time, bye.